Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for another edition of Let's Argue, where I go online, I accept your hot takes, your unpopular opinions, your tough questions, I respond to the best ones, and we're doing it on Patreon. This one's for the patrons, my patrons. Mwah! We love you, we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. So hopefully, we answered some of your questions here, your comments and all that. Let's do it. God, I hate these types of comments. Even at their creative peak, the Beatles could never write a song like Money Machine, but 100 gecs could write a song like Yellow Submarine any day of the week. Have you heard Paul McCartney's, what the hell is it? Something secretary? What the hell is it? Temporary secretary. Have you heard that shit? That is insane. Paul McCartney could most definitely write like an insane 100 gecs banger if you made him do it. He probably could. How has streaming your first listen to albums on Twitch impacted your review process? Do I feel like you have to hold your first impressions? Interesting question. Interesting question. And I don't know if I have sort of like an answer of the full scope of this until maybe I've been doing it for a little bit longer than I have, but I'll say so far, I feel like I haven't felt the need to hold back how I really feel about something that I'm hearing, but when I'm doing these streams, especially since I know there are some people who record them, I'm maybe not putting out sort of like the most detailed thoughts or anything on each track, because I guess there are some ways that I'm still thinking about how I want to put something, about something working or not working for me necessarily. And very much I'm conscious of not wanting to say the score. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, this is like totally a yellow flannel, this is going to be my album of the year, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there have been some occasions where I have been so, I guess, taken aback by something I've been listening to and how good it is that I am pretty forthright about how much I am in love with it, like the new TK Maidza EP. I remember when I streamed that, I was just like, holy shit, this is like probably going to be my EP of the year. But most of the time, I try not to give too much away because at the end of the day, I still would like people to see the review, so yeah. Have you ever thought about reviewing/discussing Tiny Desk concerts? IMO, they are hit or miss, but the good ones, Lido, Roddy Ricch, also T-Pain, don't forget that one, and the Mac Miller one's quite nice too. Give a different perspective to songs, i.e. live acoustic versions of instrumentals. I mean, honestly, I don't sort of consider myself somebody who is a reviewer of, I guess, like a performance per se, though I do concert reviews every once in a while. I feel like what makes the Tiny Desks great, if they are great, sort of speaks for themselves. Visually, your reviews are too professional and serious now. They were more enjoyable when you had older, lower quality camera and you had more silly video edits and vocal distortions. Nowadays, it feels like I'm watching a college professor talk, especially with your circle Harry Potter glasses. You came off a lot less serious with the bulky square glasses. You don't even use phone recordings for your outros anymore. It just doesn't hit the same. I mean, honestly, I don't know where you're coming off necessarily. I mean, I don't know how much more serious or too visually professional my reviews are. My green screen here is being held up to the door by a rubber band, and on top of it, a binder clip is still holding up my green screen thing, which is literally green screen fabric sewn and taped onto a piece of cardboard. Like, I guess things look brighter and cleaner than they used to, but I like that. And I know that I don't really do the skippy dippy. Austin, feel free to throw in some skippy dippy. But I was mostly doing that back in the day to I guess, distract from the fact that maybe I've made a mistake and I only had a very limited amount of time to shoot something because I might have like had to go to my pizza job or something. I didn't have the time to sort of like fuck a sentence up 30 times, and I would just like say it wrong halfway through and then sort of do a skippy edit and then go on to the next one. And over the years, I've just kind of gotten better in my delivery where I don't need to do that as much. So I mean, they were kind of a crutch in a way, a crutch that I'm happy I don't have to have to use anymore. I'm sorry my Harry Potter glasses make me seem too serious. I feel like over the years I've kind of struggled with dealing with criticisms that range from either what you're saying all the way over to like, you're such a clown, you're such a joke, how could you ever expect to be taken seriously by the music industry when you're just acting like a fool, you're a grown-ass man. And I guess I don't really know where I land. Artists who release the stems and multi-tracks for their music are very smart to do so. Attracts attention their way and exposes them to new audiences when they are remixed and sampled. Can't think of a reason everyone shouldn't do it. I agree. I guess if everyone was doing it, it would lose its novelty, but I think more artists out there who might have a somewhat viral song or two and are thinking or trying to imagine ways to get a little bit more popular or get some extra shine or conversation or traffic, like, you should release stems for your shit, because people might break that up and turn it into something else, and again, to do a cool remix or reference you or feature you in a way, I guess. You know, it's all just more attention for you at the end of the day, and you're giving other people the work to do for free because, I don't know, stems and remixing stuff is fun. Releasing the title track of an album as the lead single is a coward move. I don't get why people have so many hang-ups about, like, the title tracks of albums and what happens on them and where they are on the record and whether or not they're released as a single. Like, I don't know. Isn't it all truly case by case at the end of the day? Like, there are title tracks that are great, title tracks that are shitty. I mean, I can't think of a single one-size-fits-all rule for a title track. I mean, I guess maybe a general rule that you could go with is maybe the title track should be an overall reflection, or at least a partial reflection of, I guess, the statement you're trying to make with the record. You know, if it works and if it's entertaining and people find it appealing as a piece of music, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's a title track, some other random fucking title, or if it's a single, or if it's not a single. Again, as long as people are enjoying the music and whatever album it lands on, if it's on an album, well, again, I guess it would have to be since it's a title track. If it's on the album, it is on the album. Okay, it's on the album. Anyway, people enjoy it as a piece of music, maybe in an isolated case if it is a single, but also it should be complimentary and enjoyable within the context of the album too. But that seems like a pretty general rule. I guess every song on your album should be enjoyable in an ideal world. Bad Wolves' cover of Cranberries' Zombie is one of the worst covers of all time, so on and so forth. Honestly, I don't even know if I've heard this one. Let me look it up. Yeah, I can't stand this vocal style. I really can't. I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the instrumentation and everything. I imagine it's going to get really corny and really heavy as it moves forward, but it just sounds like, I don't know, some dude doing Eddie Vedder on Quaaludes or something. I really don't get the appeal. I can't. Sorry, not even going to find out how bad that gets, but that is terrible so far. What do you think the idea of being too old to understand an artist or genre? Do you worry about this happening to you years down the road? I mean, I think, no, I don't. Even stuff that I don't care about today or care for today in terms of, like, you know, enjoyability in, you know, current trends of music, I at least understand, like, the appeal, where they're coming from, the audience of people who would enjoy that type of thing. Look, I mean, I've interacted with plenty of people who today are in their 50s or in their 60s, and they like a lot of contemporary music. And I don't mean just like they like Adele, you know, they think like Travis Scott is kind of cool, and they think Young Thug is pretty cool too. Do they sort of relate to everything that's being said in those songs on like a personal level? Do they appreciate them in maybe the same way a 16-year-old does, who is now just having their mind open to all sorts of new types of music and just music in general as they're coming of age? No, maybe not, but you know, that's not everything. You know, ultimately, people can enjoy things in different ways, and as long as you're getting joy out of that and you're getting pleasure out of that, it's legitimate. Music from YouTubers is always rap music because it is easier to make. I remember a time on YouTube around the early 2010s and even before that. And I guess even to an extent today, there's like a lot of guitar YouTube, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of guitar YouTube, a lot of bass YouTube, a lot of rock YouTubers who sort of do their thing, either recording songs or doing videos and reviews about equipment and that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know. There's certainly a strong showing of rock and metal oriented YouTubers and content creators on the internet who have found out very creative ways of kind of producing their stuff all from home, and they're making it as efficiently as somebody who's producing some rap shit from home. So I don't know. Don't totally write off rock YouTube. Okay, it's out there. They're out there, they're doing their thing. And how can I forget like electronica and EDM YouTube? That is also a thing, but I'm not gonna get into it. Pantera were easily one of the best things to happen to metal in the 90s, but all the horrible groove metal bands they inspired almost makes their impact on metal more negative than positive. Kinda yeah. That's the case for a lot of shit. You know, I mean, you could even make the same argument for Nirvana to an extent with all the awful, terrible, like garbage alt-rock, alt-metal, and post-grunge bands that came through right after them, totally ripping them off, but doing it in such a way where they've completely, like, torn away any and all artistic authenticity and just kept, like, the basic forms of the type of rock that band was playing. And then of course, like, some groups were making it really shitty and almost like rustic in a way and just making it for morons that drive pickup trucks. I mean, you know, I actually kind of want a pickup truck, so I can't totally diss people who drive pickup trucks. But, you know, there were a lot of bad post-grunge bands that are really riding that Ford F-150 type beat. But I don't know, at the end of the day, I guess this is a lesson that you as an artist, especially if you are an artist that gets popular, really a content creator of any stripe, you don't necessarily have like full control over how people interpret your art, how people enjoy it, and also on top of that, how other artists, borrow from it to go and make their own music, which is maybe a lot less interesting and creative than yours. The popularity of popular music has nothing to do with music. That's kind of reductive, don't you think? I mean, has nothing to do with music, nothing whatsoever to do with music. I mean, I think there are people out there who are sort of responding to the popularity of certain songs and will try it out, listen to it, sure. But, you know, if it doesn't appeal to them, they're not going to go back to it. You know, the music has to be appealing at the end of the day. You can't say it has nothing whatsoever to do with music. However, I will not deny that the popularity of certain artists and songs and albums does also come down to marketing. You know, it's a mix. You really do yourself a disservice by not watching the Gorillaz music videos upon your first listen. With a group like this, the visuals are half the experience, so on and so forth. I mean, I agree. I don't deny that the visuals are important to the Gorillaz experience, but I guess when I'm reviewing the music, I don't really want to be distracted by anything else, you know what I mean? And I also don't want to have the criticism leveled at me that, oh, you just really love the music video and that's why you like it. The song isn't even good. So, you know, I don't want to be sort of biased or influenced by anything else other than the thing that I'm listening to. And look, ultimately, as much as the visuals are important to the Gorillaz experience, the music should also kind of speak for itself too, you know what I mean? In addition to your annual classic reviews, you should review an anti-classic and iconic bad album from back in the day. I'd recommend Limp Bizkit's Hot Dog Flavored Water. Why do you want me to be in pain? I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to listen to Limp Bizkit's Hot Dog Flavored Water. I really don't. Honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't even buy that record. I did not even buy that record. That album was so bad, and I was into Limp Bizkit back then, but that album was so bad, and the direction that they went in was so shitty. Yeah, I couldn't even stomach it as a child, and I just checked out of the whole Limp Bizkit rap metal thing, like, fast. And in many respects, I have never looked back, and I don't want to go back there, man. I don't want to go back there! And that is gonna be it for this Let's Argue. Thank you for watching. You are the best. Patrons, we love you. You are the best. Thank you for doing what you do on Patreon, supporting us. Mwah, 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 mwah. Forever.